Good morning, scholars. Today we are going to work with our Vikings. So we are absolutely correct that we have our little Viking longship with us today. This is what we are going to work on. We're going to work on our lap book that we started last week. And here is my lap book. So I used a Cheerio box. Here's my cover. Colored my ship, created my sail, added some ocean. A lot of you did something similar, made some great sails. So your cover should be done and you should have your folder lap book going. Inside, we did our Vikings are known for. So we're going to take a look at that information. It's really important that you are writing down the information that we are using today, because we're going to have a quiz using our lap book when we are finished with this project. So the first page, the Vikings are known for their shipbuilding. So you might want to review what you wrote every day before you begin. Their ships had flat bottoms so they could sail up the shore. They carved serpent heads on the bow to scare their enemy. The bow is the front of the ship. If I turn that page to fighting and read that page, Viking used the element of surprise against their enemy. Some of the weapons were spears, crossbows, swords, and shields. Fighting. If I turn the page again, then I come to sailing. Vikings were great sailors because they understood the weather and they spent a lot of time at sea. They lived on the coast, so they were out in the oceans hunting for food. Now, that was our first book we created. The second book that we did was the Vikings are less well known for their. I colored some of the detail on my page, and if I flip my book cover down, I'll see that they were known for trading. As they traveled, they traded some of their goods for other goods. They were great farmers. Most of them farmed for a living. One reason they left and went looking for new places to settle is they were running out of good farmland. Here in the background is their longhouse, their thatched roof. And another thing they were known for was their ironwork. When they started trading, they would trade some of their items that they would make. So you see a spear, a helmet. He's working on something at his forge and with his anvil pounding out. Looks like a sword he's working on. We also have an axe hanging in the back and his shield. Now, not only did they work with iron, they also were known for their jewelry making. So you'll see that I am wearing some jewelry today because they traded jewelry. Now, they might not have had the jewelry I have on, the turquoise, just from the America Southwest, but it's what I own, so it's what I have on. So we also finished our Who Were the Vikings, which was our little flip book. We know they didn't wear horns on their helmets because people could have yanked on them, or a broadaxe could have caught on them and pulled their helmet out, off or them down to the ground. So their helmets were more shaped like what we see knights wearing, where if they were hit in the head, the blow would slide off or they would have some protection. The horns actually came into being in the 1800s for an opera that was written portraying the Vikings. I guess they looked nice on stage. And so we kept with them today. So who were the Vikings? And we opened that up and we found out a little bit about the Vikings. You're going to want to read over this daily or every other day to make sure that you know this information, because it is going to be used on a quiz later. Don't panic though, you'll be able to go back and use your Viking lap book as a resource. That's why you want to make sure you're adding all the information that I give you. Let's read this together. Vikings are Norsemen from Scandinavia. They were farmers, shipbuilders, traders, and raiders. The Vikings believed there were many gods and goddesses, and that they lived in a land above the sky called Asgard. Asgard was connected to the earth by a rainbow bridge. The king of the gods was Odin. Thor, the thunder god, was the most warlike of the Viking gods. And we know from our spelling work that Odin was what the day Wednesday was named after, Woden's Day, or Wednesday now. And Thursday was named after Thor, the thunder god. And Friday was named after Freya, or her twin Frey, so Friday. So that's what we've got done. Today we are going to add our map to our lap book. Now on this page that you're going to get today is also written in stone and our runes, but we're going to do that tomorrow. So I'm going to cut out my map. And maybe you don't want to cut right on the edge because you might want to color out of the lines a little bit. I might leave that open on the other side so if I get out when I cut, I can cut off. So I'm just going to set this aside for tomorrow. And I'm going to see what I have to work with today. So I'm going to work on my map. So put it right here. And my map, I've got Scandinavia. This is that portion of Europe where the Vikings came from. I found a book that has a really good set of Viking map in it. I just want to share with you. Warriors of the Sea. So here is Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, and Finland. If you look down here, you will see the Mediterranean Sea, our duck. There's his bill, one of his wings, his other wing. So we all know where that is, north of Africa. We also have Constantinople, Baghdad, Russia. And then if we go over here, we see that they sailed west to Iceland. Leif Erikson went on to Greenland and with his father Eric the Red, and then Leif went on to sail further west down into Newfoundland, or what he called Vineland or Wineland. So the Vikings set out to trade, plunder, explore, and settle in the known world and beyond. These voyages would last for years. The Danes, those are the people from Denmark, sailed down the Frisian coast, the coast of France, or Gaul back then, and across to England. So they came across the North Sea to England, while the Norwegians went west across the North Atlantic to Iceland, Greenland, and on to the Americas, where the Swedish adventurers, right here, found their ways to the Black Sea. They would go through the Baltic Sea, up the rivers in Russia, and down to the Black Sea. Remember, the flat-bottom boats were very skilled at being sailed up rivers and onto the beaches. So this is a nice map that shows where they went and what they did. And it mentions a couple of other things. They're trading. Coins from far away as Baghdad have been found in Viking graves, proving that their trade extended eastward. Raiding did not provide a regular income for the Vikings, so they became skilled in bartering and trading. For example, they were able to gain silver, which was their favorite metal for trading, so some silver to make some of their jewelry, by exchanging slaves they had captured on raids for Arab silver. Luxury goods, the Vikings traded in amber, which was a yellow stones, both raw and polished, so they might to get right out of the earth like this, or they might take time to polish it and make it a smoother stone. It was plentiful up in the land where they lived in Scandinavia, and it was much prized by other nations. So there's a look at the maps and where they went. So let's get started on our map today. So here's my map. I'm going to take my crayons. I'm going to start with rojo, or red, and I'm going to color in Norway. Now you're going to see all this jagged coastline, the fjords of Norway, where the water comes in and back up into these little fjords, is what they're called. Now that's kind of hard to color around, so we're just going to do our best. We're not going to scribble scrabble like our younger brother or sister might, or if we were still in kindergarten. We're going to take our time and we're going to color Norway in red. So I'm going to first color very carefully around the fjords, color lightly over the title of Norway, and I'm going to stop, but you're going to continue to color, and I will finish my map and get it into my lap book. But so I can show you what else to do, I'm going to stop. I do want to point out that Norway goes all the way up here, so I'm going to draw a line up here. This is all Norway up here north of Finland. So you're going to want to travel all the way up the coast and over to these striped lines. So this is all part of Norway. So you want to color all of that in. If you need to take a break, because it is very time consuming to try and carefully color around the fjords, then stop for a minute. Go get a drink of water, go to the garderobe, but don't stay around away too long, or you might forget what it is that you are coloring. So you're going to color all of that down here. All of this is Norway, so you're going to want to color all of that in red. Alright, so rojo. Now I'm going to put my rojo away, and I'm going to get my morado, or my purple. See if I can find my purple. This looks like purple. Nope, it's not purple. Ah, here's a light purple. I might use that. Don't know if I have a dark purple. Ah, here I go. So I'm going to take purple, and I'm going to color in Sweden. Now Sweden starts all the way down here. It's not as hard to color, not the fjords of Norway. And I'm going to color, I'm going to go around this, lakes, and I'm going to go all the way up, all the way over, up to where it talks about the name, and I'm going to color right up to Finland. I'm going to color back down, making sure I get all of this colored in. Now, I'm not going to do the whole thing while I'm sitting here talking to you, because I'll give you time to do that on your own in Sweden. I'm then going to get my verde, or my green, so that I can color in Finland. So get my green, color in Finland. Now my green's kind of tiny, but it still works. Got a bigger green somewhere, I guess. I'm going to start down here, coloring in Finland. I'm not going to go in here. This is ocean. This is the Baltic Sea, so I am not going to color that in green, because that is going to be water. I'm going to get that to be blue. So I'm going to continue to color. I'm not coloring on the stripes. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to color all the way up here to Norway, and I'm going to continue to color that in. So Finland. Now the next thing I'm going to take is my blue, and I'm going to color all of my oceans around Scandinavia blue. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to color the Baltic Sea. Now this is going to take a little bit of time, but that's okay. I guess that's one thing we do have is time. We're able to do this on our own. Our parents can go and do their work if they have to. Maybe they're working from home. So you're going to want to let them have time to do their work also. So I'm going to color the Baltic Sea. I'm going to come in here to these areas. This is also part of the Baltic Sea. So I'm going to color that in here around these islands. Do my best. All the way down along all of this land. Down to the bottom of my map. I'm going to color around Denmark. So I'm going to try not to color my islands. I'm going to go around that. Now Denmark sticks off the top of Germany. What today is Denmark? I mean Germany. So we're going to color him also, but I'm going to go around him right now. That's where the Danes would have been from also. So I'm going to color around Denmark the best that I can, trying not to color. Now it's not an island, so this part right here, don't color that blue. So I'm going to color all of this. I'm going to try to go into my fjords, and I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to color all of this all the way up here into my fjords over here north of Norway. I'm going to color all of this area blue to the edge of my map. I'm going to cut that off, so maybe won't take too much time to color nice and neat there, because I know I'm going to cut it off and that's going to be all nice and neat. So I'm going to finish coloring my ocean. Got the Baltic Sea, all of this, all of that going on. You could color the lakes in there if you want to. Alright, now I've got to go down and finish coloring Denmark. Forgot to color Denmark. So Denmark, I am going to make yellow, or amarillo, so I get my amarillo, so I get my yellow. And I'm going to color Denmark yellow, do the best that I can. I'm going to even go down and color this part, which is not part of Denmark, but it is attached, so I just know that that's land. And then I'm going to go back and color around that. Now over here, this part of our land, this is Russia, where I've got the stripes. You don't have to color it. If you want to color it, you can pick out, I don't know, brown. Maybe I'll take my brown and I'll color in Russia, just so I know that that's land. All of this is land. It's not part of Scandinavia, but if you want to mark it, go ahead and mark it. The last thing I'm going to do is take my black, and I'm going to make my compass rose out here in the middle of the North Sea and the ocean. So I'm going to make my line. I don't want to mark it out where I'm going to cut off. The top of my compass rose is north, the bottom is south, over here is the W for west, and over here is the E. If I write we, I know that I've written it correctly. If I write you, I know that it's not right. I might even color in my title up here. I think I'll make it light purple, just so it looks good. And then I'm going to finish. I'm going to cut it out and cut off that scribble scrabble. And when I am all finished coloring this, I'm going to add it to my lap book. Now I'm going to put it next to the part that I did yesterday. Who were the Vikings? Because underneath here is going to go my rune stone and then my vocabulary packet here. So I'm going to put my map over here. I guess you could try other things, but I'm afraid if we glued some things out of order, they're not going to work. But so I'm going here. I know it's safe. I know I'm going to have room to put everything on there if I put my map right there. So I'm going to glue it, get that glued on. I'm going to finish coloring it, finish my Viking work for the day, review it because I know that I'm going to use it for a quiz later on. All right, so go out, do great works, finish your work, give mom and dad a little bit of a break. You can do it.